This is still Morten from English, and still we are with Müller Martini, and we are still with Christoph from Müller Martini. And you have actually already convinced me that you are not just a hardware company, you are also a software company, right? So, Christoph, one of the things I actually think I saw it the first time when you presented to me at Hunkler Innovation Days, right? Because you can actually get a lot of information about your, say, Müller Martini equipment, manuals, documentation, life cycle assessments, all these kind of things directly from a web browser, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you call it the MPOWER.
We call it MPOWER, our customer portal, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So now we're here on your
website,
yeah. And how do you get into the MPOWER?
It's just on the top over here. We have career because we are looking always for new good workers. That's my career shape the future. Up here is the language, and next to it is MPOWER. That's where I access this customer portal. Then I get to that login page where I need to log in. Because it's a web-based, I need to select my login and put in my password.
And then we are
there.
Yeah. And this, let's say, the front page of your let's say MPOWER website, that is basically you can bring news to your customers about what goes on in the industry, what goes on with the company. We just saw very briefly the acquisition of Hunkler was announced here as well. So you basically have your own news outlet here, right?
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
And then you rapidly click on equipment.
Exactly.
Because we always want to go down to gear, right?
Yeah. That's the thing what I'm interested in, definitely.
So what we see here is the equipment that this particular, let's say, customer have acquired from Müller Martini.
This plant over here. So the print finishing center, we are a customer of Müller Martini, and that's our nice equipment as you see here, all the blue ones.
And I guess there's a lot of printing companies that would die to get that set up, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So basically, let's take one of the machines and talk a little bit about what you can see here. So can you pick what you see?
For example, the Allegro, our workhorse binder. We see the manufacturing year of that machine, the machine type, the end of warranty, and the life cycle status. So the customer knows every time he logs in here, what is the status of his machine? Do we still build that? Or maybe we invented the new machine and this changed this life cycle status.
So before you move on, so that basically means for a customer that have a machine, that when we talk about the life cycle, that has something to do with, is it under warranty? Can I get spare parts? Can I get service? Can I get all those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
And how do I see what the different statuses are that I can...
I see that here under life cycle descriptions, and there's a file which defines what are the differences: active, secured, limited, and obsolete. So we have, if we sell the equipment still, it's active. If we stop the series production, we have a new one, then it's secured. And then by many years later, it will be moved to limited and then to obsolete.
And when it goes to obsolete, that is the time where it's a little bit too late to invest in new, right? You should do that a little bit earlier.
You should do that a little bit earlier, yeah.
How long time is typically in these different segments here?
That's hard to say because it really depends on the machine. Like the stitchers, we have very old stitchers from the very beginning, which they are still under limited because we still have parts and knowledge for them available.
So basically, you should check in from time to time, especially if you have old equipment, right?
Yeah.
Just so you are totally aware. And you say that this is something that every customer of Müller Martini have access to, right?
Exactly. You can do your own login and then you're there and you see your equipment. Already, if you haven't purchased new one, you also see the old equipment in the overview as we just had.
You have, of course, a lot of things here, and it will maybe take a little bit too long time to go through everything. Before, when we were talking about what we want to show, we clicked on the support one here, right?
Exactly.
And here, basically, you have a list, again, the same list as we just saw, right?
Yeah, of our machine part.
And that was the Allegro we were looking at, right? So if we look at this one, tell me what we see now.
We see here what is the remote support or the agreement we have? Do we have an agreement? When does it end?
And what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What is the coverage in this agreement?
So that is basically the SLA that you have between Müller Martini and the customer.
Exactly.
Is available here directly.
Exactly. So you know what you have. As well, you have your contact information, and you have a history and the open calls. So you would have a history of your calls, and we see now we have an open service call over here in our system on this particular machine.
And we spoke about the e-call because, I mean, of course, it does make sense to have an e-call when it's in your demo facility. But that means that the customers, when they require support, they go to the web portal, MPOWER, and then they go for the product and click on the e-call, and then they schedule whatever they need.
Exactly. The e-call opens up a call in our planning service tool system. So we know we have to do something there at that particular machine. And we have all the important information. We know what type of machine it is, and then we can get the right expert at the right time to the customer.
Then we move to documentation, and I like that also because here you have not only manuals, but you have, I mean, tell me what we have, you know.
Okay, let me select probably this machine, Prinova Digital. We have layouts of the machine, how it's installed, network diagrams, all the schematics.
Is that the layout from the printing company, or is it the layout of the machine?
That's the specific layout of that specific machine you purchased.
Okay,
nice. So our machine layout is up here. See, that's that layout of my machine.
Wow.
Okay. Then schematics to my machine, the manuals, operating manuals to my machine, to that specific machine in the right language. You need.
Imposed or not imposed? Okay.
Good joke.
Yeah.
This time
yeah, you got it, right?
Yeah, I got it. Okay, let's take a look here on the saddle stitcher. On the saddle stitcher, we just introduced beginning of this year the 3D spare parts catalog.
Okay. Makes it much easier for customers to figure out what they need, basically.
Exactly.
Right? Is that because a lot of your customers have, like, they can service the machines themselves?
Yeah. Many customers, especially the ones who are in the conventional business, they used to do that for many, many years, and they still do. So over here, for example, that's that stitching unit. If I'm searching for a part, for example, I can hide certain areas in order to get to the specific part.
Different layers, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Into the assemblies. Red, that's an assembly. I double click because I know it's in that assembly. And then I just select whatever I need. For example, this holder over here. That's, again, an assembly. I maybe just need this tool. Add that to the shopping cart. And at the end, you have all that information in the shopping cart.
And basically, as you also mentioned, that gathers let's say, the shopping cart list. And sometimes you buy it directly from Müller Martini, and sometimes you buy it from your local hardware store, so
maybe,
to speak, or service technician in where you have. But that basically means that is totally integrated, so people can easily, you know, dig into what the problem could be. And it could even be like with the e-call, you could have remote access and tell them, hey, it could be here. The problem is, let's just take a look at it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's speed up, and I guess that when you invest in technology like Müller Martini, it's always, let's say, uptime is always the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
So that ensures that customers can get the equipment up and running fast.
Yeah, definitely.
That's smart, yeah?
Let's go real quick into the e-shop. I saved it here. You're gonna go there? Yeah. So we log in here. We have already a shopping basket because I showed you before, but let's upload another file. This one we just created. Open it up and load it up. And now it will check with our stock room what is all available for what price and what delivery times.
Smart.
So this way the customer has the full control and really knows what's going on. For example, over here we have parts on where we have a long delivery time. That's due to the fact that they are not spare parts. They are in our production storage room. Or over here, the engineer needs a special tool. That's why there's no price behind it. Or other parts like this one cannot be cancelled or returned because we know customers will order it, use it for one production and then return it. That's not possible on this part.
And that basically gives the customer a total overview both of, let's say, spare part cost, but also what it takes to get the machine up and running. Well, if you have a service call and you need to have a technician on site, will the technician use the same software so the customer can follow and say, okay, we need these spare parts and we need these hours of, okay, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So is this, I mean, how long time have you had MPOWER?
For quite a long time, but it's always a part of, we used to sell big machinery, steel, and that's not that easy to show that to people and explain it. So,
but it's great because I mean everybody talks about the digital transformation, and it's not just about the equipment, but it's also about having access to the right data at the right time, I guess, right? So
exactly.
yeah. So I mean, when you chose to when we spoke about what we were going to see today, we spoke about MPOWER could be interesting. Is it because not enough people are using it, or is it because you just want to brag about your software?
No, it's really, I think not that many customers are aware of it, that they have it. They just need to do the login, and the data is all available, and they can use it. Maybe most use the shop, that's where they use it, but the rest they don't really know about it, that it's available.
Okay, now it's on English, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks
a
lot,
Thank you, sir. Yeah.